The Lost Cryptids Conservatory, where we will shatter your reality to bring you closer to the truth.
Alright, welcome back to another live stream. It's our Halloween special. Hope everyone's doing good tonight. So, we've got a few things lined up and stuff. Some scary ghost stories, and we'll show some audio evidence and some new stuff. And have some fun. So, hopefully everyone's doing good. And then I'll probably put the link in the I'll put the link in the chat here in a little bit as we start rolling, get things going. So yeah, man, can't believe it's already Halloween. It seems like this year's just been flying by, honestly, but no, it's good. It's good. We're gonna go out with the family here and go trick or treating and stuff, and it's gonna be fun. Yeah, where to start? That's always the troubling thing. Well, it is Halloween and stuff, so I guess we can start with some ghost stories, and everyone. That's the one thing is. When you say like, oh, do you believe in Bigfoot or do you believe in ghosts? I think most often than not people are more acceptive to ghosts and paranormal things like that, which is pretty interesting. Everyone has experiences of some weird and strange things happening at their house and odd noises and stuff. Or if not, you can find a family member who does. And I've certainly heard my share, and I've experienced my own fair share of things that makes you wonder. So, and we've shown. I don't know if I had these pictures up. I wasn't sure if I was able to do this tonight. That's why I kind of made the show late, and I didn't really even share it around. But my girlfriend, she experiences a lot of paranormal stuff growing up, and over the years, and we continue to have stuff happen, and all the years I've been with her, I can say that there's been some odd stuff that's happened with me and her. Just looking for it, and mainly a number of times, and most recently. Sitting here, working on the computer, and all of a sudden I hear a crash and stuff, and the dog barks. I go out there, to investigate, and there's nothing crashed to the floor. There's nothing seems to be afoot. It's just one of those things that it's you hear a loud crash, you go, you investigate, everything's in place, how everything looks. It's your own house, you can pretty much walk around blindfolded. So, what is that? And it sounds from inside the house. It's not coming from the outside. And what is it? It's not like we don't have no way an older home at all. It's a brand new home. So, what is it? I don't know. But over the years, I've had some of that crashing happen. Where you hear a loud commotion, bang, and there's just nothing there. And the first major time that I really experienced something like that, after my mom had passed away, I was 13. We moved out of the city at my grandma's house. We moved to the country by just the boys, me, my dad, and my brother. So it was just us three. And that's when I started going to the woods more heavily. Had my first encounter, started researching and stuff, and had other things happen. But the house itself seemed to, I don't know, be haunted or have some energy about it. We always kind of laugh and say it because there's a few odd things that happen. But this one particular time, I was sitting there on the computer, and the layout was, I'm in the living room right there, kitchen's off right there, living room, open space to the well, actually, I guess it would be the dining room with the computer there, and then open space to the living room. Right there is the back door, which technically would be the front door, but we always called it the back door because we, never used it. But basically, I was sitting there. We had our German Shepherd on the couch right there. He's leaning. The couch is against the wall, which is the outside of the porch wall, and with the overhang and stuff. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, I just hear this bang, and it's loud, and I'm just, in the moment I spin around, and I'm, like, what the heck? And then instantly I look, my dad's still sleeping. The dog who is alert and always constantly barking at every little thing, is dead asleep on the couch. It's right against the wall, because it was walled off. It walled off, and it came and stopped. And where it stopped, the door was in the dining room where I was, and so it wrapped, and then that's where it was open space to the living room, and the dog was right there. Never woke up. My brother's upstairs. Never woke up. I'm like, what the f, honestly, and I stand up. I go to the door. Of course, I look out. There's no one there. Nothing there. And I notice that the door, the inside of the door is just open, just a hair, and it was obviously shut. It was at nighttime. This is like, I don't know, midnight. After dark, around that time frame. But it was one of those with the deadbolt and stuff. So somehow it sounded like someone ran up and like kicked it in, tried to kick the door in. And then, no one else heard it in the entire house. The dog should have heard that. That dog, man, he would, trust me, if there was someone kicking that door, and he would have ripped them to shreds and had fun doing it. I just couldn't believe it. I just had no idea, And of course, the next day I tell my dad and all that, but it's just one of those things that you just can't explain. So, there's that, there are ghost stuff. There's energies and different stuff. Can hardly see me. Well, that's kind of the point. I mean, if you guys can, like, if it's a black screen, obviously I can turn up the light. But so just give me some more comments about if you guys want me to turn the light up just a little bit. I can, no problem. In that particular house, I personally experienced one time with my brother. We were sleeping in another room, same room together after a late night. I'm sleeping. I wake up. I notice that it sounds like there's breathing and stuff. It's not my brother's breathing. It sounds like there's another person in there breathing. And what I notice is I hold my breath, and I listen to my brother's breathing, and then when he's hopefully that's a little bit better for you guys. So I hear him and stuff, and I hear him, inhaling and he's exhaling. And he's inhaling and he's exhaling. And then all of a sudden I hear something that's opposite of his pattern start breathing. And I'm freaking out a little bit, and I'm listening to it, and it's just opposite of him. So I'm hearing him exhale and breathe, and this other thing is loud enough that I can deliberately hear breathing and stuff. Man, I was just freaked out, and honestly, what am I supposed to do? If I wake up my brother, he's gonna freak out. wake up my dad. There's probably a 50-50 chance he's be all grumpy and stuff. So it's like, just gonna, I just close your eyes and just eventually you go to sleep. So that was one thing in the house. I experienced stuff in my room, same kind of thing, breathing. I would hear breathing. There was a particular closet, and um, I would have weird dreams and stuff about it, which was whatever. But I would always hear breathing and stuff. It sounded like coming from there, and found out after a couple years living there that we had a friend's dad come over and said, yeah, there was a person who hung himself basically, or shot himself in the barn on the top of the rafters and stuff. And so we kind of thought that maybe that was the activity or what was going on, but we never know. We used to think that maybe there's a lot of stuff like that going on. We had lightning that struck a particular tree multiple times. One particular time that I witnessed, there was like a lightning ball that went inside the house, and me and my brother seen it, and it came in. Bzz, bzz, it was like a ball, and it came, and then it shot a little electricity line out, and another ball was right there, like warped right there, and it floated, destroyed the computer, blew the breakers and stuff, but destroyed the computer. My dad was kind of upset and stuff about that, but my brother witnessed it too, and he was at the top of the stairs and he seen it. So like when we told my dad, I guess it kind of lessened the blow and stuff, because it was kind of weird, and that particular tree would get hit a number of times over the course of the years we were there. So I don't know what was going on. If the house, the land, and yeah, thanks. I was trying to make it to where I was in the dark, and you guys were supposed to like see kind of the just my face a little bit. I guess on my end it looks better and stuff, but of course it's always different when you guys are viewing things and hearing things on your end. So yeah, that goes. That's why I think ghosts are real. I experienced those kind of things. I used to watch a lot of programs when I was younger, when I was into the whole like ghosts and UFOs a bit more, and cryptozoology was always kind of hand in hand, because most of those programs back then, especially some of the stuff I watched, it was multiple things, right? So it'd be like Bigfoot, it'd be Loch Ness Monster, then it'd be some ghost, and then it'd be some UFO stuff, crop circles, then it would be, how were the ancient megastructures built, and ancient lost treasures, and all this stuff. So it really piqued my interest across the board. But I got out of ghost stuff early and stuff, and kind of naturally and stuff. I never felt that was good to really mess with, because you don't know what you're messing with. And inherently, if you look through all the cultures and everything's like that, they talk about spirits and the dead and stuff like that, and you can have some pretty bad things, pretty bad spirits and stuff mess with you. And you can also have, if there's good spirits, there's bad spirits, there's bad spirits, there's good spirits, right? And maybe some in between. So that's just something that always rubbed me the wrong way, of why mess with that, when you're, that's just something that just seems to me just not as safe as going to see trying to find Bigfoot and chase a 1,000-pound animal in the woods after the dark, in the darkness. And so to each their own. So I got out of the ghosts and all that, especially all the experiences I've had. That's just never good. And honestly, in some of those experiences in the more recent years, I do invoke the name of Jesus and some of my faith, because I feel like and it seems to be that's the only thing that would helps me. Because I don't mess with that stuff. I don't let that stuff hang around or try to. I know we experience stuff here, but we don't tolerate it and try to put a foot in it and stop it. Whenever we can, because you just opening doors and stuff like that. They're not no guest is invited into my house unless I say so. I don't want nothing messing with me because they're not invited. So simple. So so that's pretty much why we really don't get into ghost stuff. We did a recent video with me and my girlfriend. We kind of went to a graveyard and stuff, but in the back of my mind, it was more or less, Bigfoots hang out next to graveyards and around graveyards. Maybe there's a chance that Sasquatch will be around. Not necessarily spiritual stuff, but if something happens, something happens. So, my dad's experienced some ghost stuff over the years. I know my mom's experienced some ghost stuff. I've experienced sleep paralysis a few times. Three really good times, but two that were in the past that were really interesting, intense, and really made me kind of believe that something happens. Whether it's something that's happening to you or in your brain and stuff. I kind of flip the coin 50-50 sometimes because I feel like it go either way. Because the one time I was woke up and it was both in the same place, the same room. The first time I remember, being conscious and not being able to move my body, and sometimes that happens to me. Sometimes I will actually be in my dream, and I will be all of a sudden I will realize that I'm awake, and I'm actually asleep though, but I'm awake. I am conscious of my breathing, and I actually have to sometimes I feel like I have to make sure I'm breathing right because I might suffocate and stuff. But this is not sleep paralysis. This is just sometimes that happens to me that I've noticed over the years. So basically I'm sleeping, but I'm awake, and I'm stuck like this, and I'm breathing. Okay, so I make sure I get my breathing under control and stuff, and then I will shake myself until I actually woke up and stuff. And I have done that a number of times throughout the years. But when I woke up in the sleep paralysis stuff, my eyes were open. I could look around and I could see everything. But I couldn't move my body in any sort of way. I couldn't shake myself. I couldn't do anything like that. And all of a sudden you start having it's panic and stuff. So automatically panic sets in, and you feel like well, I thought I started assuming, oh my God, it's just this sleep paralysis automatically, and then the thought's like, are you gonna start seeing stuff? So you kind of get yourself worked up automatically because it is a very strange experience. And I remember feeling a very extreme pain in my groin area actually, and it really hurt. And I finally sat up because I had enough of it, and I was invoking my spiritual faith. I sat up, and the books that I had on my stand, about 5 feet away from me, all fell down. And I was fine. Now I'm fine and stuff. Of course, I checked myself. I'm fine. I'm not bleeding. There's nothing wrong with me. But that was an experience that made me think, okay, wow, it obviously something happened, something I can't explain because the books fell down. The books didn't fall down and say, well, maybe it's all in my head because you're waking up, you're sleep paralysis, right? But the books falling down without me touching them or anything like that is some pretty extreme weird stuff. So maybe there's something else going on. I have no idea. That was that was it. That was the first time I really felt some extreme pain and sensations like that I've never felt, and it did kind of scare me a little bit. I don't like telling that because it makes me, makes people think you're crazy if you tell stuff like that. But you know, if it happened, it happened. I don't know. What do you want me to say? There's been another time with my girlfriend where we were at our old place, and I was I had woke up like I normally do, and I was conscious and stuff, and I was I was breathing, get my breathing under control and stuff, but all of a sudden this time I had images of some. It was white. I've never told this one. I'm pretty sure I've never told this story on the live stream. So it was white. It was a white entity of some sort, mass. It was. I didn't see no face, but it looked like it had horns or what was perceived to be white, protruding, horn-like objects. And it started choking me. I started being choked, and I started to try to wake her up, because I'm fully conscious. I'm just, my eyes are closed. So I'm trying to like normally wake myself up. I'm trying to really like bump into her and say her name, and all that comes out of my mouth is like air. And I keep pushing it harder and harder and trying to be louder to wake her up, because I'm getting choked. It feels like there is something on me, and there is something like choking. In that situation, I did wake up and stuff. Obviously, I woke up. I woke her up and told her what had happened and stuff. In that situation, when I had became conscious, and I'm conscious like this, I didn't have any thoughts of panic. I didn't have any weird thoughts of, some monsters are going to get me or nothing like that. It was a normal, calm, okay, I'm in this situation and I need to wake myself up and then go back to bed. In that situation, you wake up, there's no books flying off the shelves or anything like that. One could say that, that would be in your head, you're just partially dreaming and stuff like that, and I could accept that. My other experience, though, with the books coming off the nightstand, troubles me when I had this experience and stuff. And this was at a weird time. This was actually 2020. Yes, 2020. October 2020. We were doing our Dewey Lake conference, our Dewey Lake stuff, and I had some weird things going on, some deja vu that had happened with the dog man and stuff that I've already explained on here a few times. But this dream and stuff happened, I think, just after all that and stuff, and I was having some just weird, off-the-wall dreams. And basically, I had a dream, and we went to this place, and the dream came true. I had seen this dog man. I had seen a wolf cross the road, and then it stood up and ran across the field as me and my girlfriend drove by. I don't like calling it a dog man, because if it never got up, it would never have been anything other than a natural wolf. There was nothing mannish about this. There was nothing monstrous about this. It was a huge wolf on all fours that got up and stood on its hind legs and ran, and it did run like a human. I had some weird dreams about explaining this to our group and stuff, and we went to Dewey Lake, and the exact setup was the same. The people were pretty much the main people were in the exact same spots. I had told the story exactly like I had said in my dream. I had said it to them, and instantly, once I said that in real life, once I said that to them, it all flooded back like, oh my gosh, this is the dream I had. And that really kind of freaked me out a little bit. I have no idea what to make of it. I know there was other people, former members, who said they had deja vu, experienced some weird stuff around there where they felt like they were there. They have already, like, they had already done this or whatever. And so that was weird. The deja vu stuff was weird. And so, again, the story of the dog man is we were driving, me, my girlfriend, and the family were driving down this road we take very often, very often each year, and it was I registered the canine head crossing the white line, and I was thinking, oh wow, cool, instantly. Cool, it's a coyote crossing the road into the daytime. We don't see this very often. It was like the first, I think it was October 4th, but it was the first week of October, and we we had the brights on. It was a sunset. It wasn't dark, but it wasn't like daylight, but it was bright, and with the lights and stuff. So I seen the canine head, thought it was a coyote. When it got in the middle of the road, I was like, holy bleep, it's a huge wolf. And where I'm at, that you ask the DNR and they would laugh at you because they barely think that they're up north. They think they're only in the UP pretty much. They don't accept that there's any surviving populations, especially the lower you go in Michigan, the lower in the mitten you go. Say, so this would have just been like, holy crap, this is amazing wolf. What a amazing sight to see down here, and that was cool in itself. It crossed the road. We're watching it. About 20 yards into the field, it fluidly stands up and runs like a person, and my jaw drops. It hurt we don't know what to think about it, and it's like I have my GoPro in my lap for this exact reason, and we drive by it, and I look at her and I say, can we stop and stuff? And it's like, at that point, I got the kids in the car. We're already past it. It's like, nope, can't. I don't know what that was, but we're just gonna keep going. But it's just one of those things where I wasn't expecting that. If I seen a Bigfoot cross the road, I'd slam down the brakes. My brain would register it. Oh yeah, but seeing a normal animal cross the road, get in the field, and then all of a sudden stand up and do something abnormal, your brain, I guess I wasn't ready for it. But I'm glad she was in the car when she witnessed it, because she's seen every little bit of it, and we were close. So it ran right in front of the car on purpose. So anyways, I've told that story a number of times. The deja vu part I've told a handful of times, and that particular dream where I was getting choked, I maybe told once on here. I'm not sure. I think I might have talked about it when it happened and stuff like that. But so odd stuff does happen, non-paranormal stuff, and it's just best to try not to mess with that, because what you can't, what are you supposed to do? You're fighting some invisible entity that seemingly can do paranormal, supernatural things. And most people on average are not going to be like, they're not going to think about things of how on average, the average Joe person, is not ready to combat some spiritual entity that's going to try to do whatever it wants to do. And the whole mystery it is, we have no idea what it is, what they are, what's going on, what can happen to you. We hear stories, right? We hear stories of the negativity stuff that can happen, possession and things like that, and draining you and causing illness and all sorts of negative stuff. And these different cultures around the world, from very sophisticated cultures, ancient Egypt, China, super sophisticated civilizations, and all the way to the quote unquote savages, as they would say, spread across the world. But those people who I think are more civilized and are more attuned to the earth than civilized people, they have stories of among the same thing, of spiritual things, of spiritual entities, and what can happen to you. And it's universal across the board. It's not like this is, adopted from one particular culture and spread throughout the world in modern times. And we have tribes in Papua New Guinea and tribes in Africa and Southeast Asian tribes and all over. South American, Native American and stuff talks about spiritual entities, of the spiritual world, of things that can happen to you. They talk about, wronging the spirits, disrespecting the spirits, spiritual places, holy places, good places, bad places. You hear about cursed places. These were things that, these are obviously obvious. It's very clear and obvious that these are things that have always happened to humans throughout all time periods, because we talk about it in all time periods. If we experience this in modern times, and the people of the ancient times and all the way until now talk about the same thing and experiencing the same things, clearly what they talk about is real, because we are experiencing the same things. It is a phenomenon that keeps happening to humans. So I think there's a lot of phenomenon that it keeps happening to humans or around humans. And if you look at the ancient cultures, they talk about a number of different things. And it's very interesting when you look at all the cultures and how they're talking about all the same things, or very similar things. Maybe it's just tweaked a little bit. And in Native American cultures, that's a good example. Is the very small tweaks of legends of the same creatures, of like little people. Little people here in the Great Lakes region are called certain things. They have magic and stuff, and possibly go invisible. Down in Louisiana, those parts, they have stories where they can go invisible, and they have hypnotic powers. And there's also stories of tribes where they have, like, opposite of, if something is massive, huge, and unliftable to a human, these little people can lift it, no problem. But if it's a small object, the little people cannot lift it and stuff. That is only found in that particular culture. That little piece of a puzzle reference to some type of magic that they have. There's other Indians, they talk about magic and stuff. There's a general thing, and then you look at more detailed things about this stuff. So I find it fascinating about that, like the universal idea of the vampire and stuff. Everyone thinks that the vampire is a modern or a medieval European folklore, but in fact, it's in a lot of cultures. The idea of the vampire, the idea of this blood-drinking entity or demon, is talked about in China and stuff. They have their own unique version of the vampire, and of course, they were in different time periods in the European folklore, vampire and stuff. So you have two different cultures, two different time periods talking about relatively the same thing, right? There's I believe definitely in Africa there's tribes and stuff. They talk about vampires and vampiric type entities. I believe in the Middle East there's stories of vampires in like Pakistan and Iraq and some of the more mountainous regions. Believe in the Caucasus Mountains and stuff, you have vampires. So There's and you can find these different archetypes of monsters and archetypes of and wild men too. Let's of course, Bigfoot. Bigfoot is spread across in almost all the cultures. Stuff more so than vampires, more so than some of these other things that can be connected. This idea of the wild man is imprinted in a lot of different cultures, spread out all across the world, and in some of the most extreme environments and the exact opposite extreme environment. Same stories of wild men can be found, even more so than some of these other stories of ghosts. And I wouldn't say ghosts because most every culture has reference to ghosts and spiritual entities and stuff like that. Um, it would be interesting to make a list and count how many different cultures and cultures around the world at different time periods believed in the wild man and stuff like that, and really plot it out and show how they are connected. So, yeah, I really hate talking about it sometimes because sometimes I just feel like I won't be taken seriously, honestly, and it's like so you know, I don't I don't want to seem like oh my God, everything's happening to me and stuff. It's like just stuff that's happened over the years. A lot of it's happened over the years at certain different time periods and stuff, and sometimes I don't talk about some of the more extreme stuff on here because I don't want to be associated with some of these Looney Tune birds that honestly believe like everything's happening to them and blah 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 and stuff. Like I wish I had cameras and evidence and stuff growing up on some of the stuff that had happened because I'm sure we would have some interesting stuff to show you guys. But being young and dumb, I wasn't thinking about that stuff. It was kind of more of experience it yourself. Um, that was kind of one thing. And now I'm kind of like I want to experience it, but I want to capture it for everyone to see because I want to be believed. Like what things are happening to me, I want to be able to show you. So that's what we're going to try to do. Whether it's whatever happens out in the woods happens. So could be spiritual entities out in the woods. Could be if a UFO flies around and stuff. We'll get it on camera hopefully for you guys. So, all right. So we're gonna show some. We're gonna show some audio clips. These are all clips that I've already chopped up and got ready to go and stuff. We're gonna go off StreamYard. It should work, I would assume. If not, we'll throw the link in the chat and maybe have some people join up if they want to come on. If not, I guess I could probably squeeze out some more stories that maybe you guys haven't heard in a while. Or I got some UFO stories. I think I've told on the one show I tell almost all my experiences. I go through most of the stuff that I could remember in that show. If I'm going to be honest, but the one show with me and my dad had some stories that were pretty interesting too. So, and some stories that we don't talk about on a number of the shows when we speak about ghosts and different stuff. So we got a couple interesting stuff for you guys actually lined up, and I hope you guys can hear it also. I gotta check my phone real quick, and then we'll get started. All right. get set up real quick on here, because I think if I do this, I'm not gonna be able to see everything. But it doesn't look like if that's my tab, if it's okay. So that does. Give it a minute. It's hopefully better on your end than my end. Okay, so here we go. Awesome. All right. I'll just make sure we can do a sound check. So if people in the chat, please give me a comment. I want to make sure you guys can be able to hear this stuff, because obviously it's important. I mean, if you guys can't, it's whatever. It's StreamYard's fault. I'll put this. I'll put this in the Facebook group and different stuff like that. But you guys will be able to see what I'm talking about. I'll point it out to you guys. So. Give me a second. All right. All right. So what we got going on is some pretty interesting stuff. And actually, this is a clip that we've played a few times on here. But I actually sent this over to shout out to Curious Cryptids, Steve, who did some audio work and stuff, some analysis, and actually found some interesting things that I previously didn't know. But his analysis and stuff of it was definitely critical and a more skeptical sound approach, which I definitely appreciate. And but he did point it out. He found one particular thing and two particular things that I did not previously found. And then when I went back over the audio, I actually found some more things on it that didn't know it was previously there. So, and I might have to email him back because I don't, you know, I'm pretty sure this wasn't on there. And the only issue he was having is, you know, of course, people are talking over the audio. You know, people are gonna be, you know, so it's not a perfect situation. You can see the audio, you can hear all the stuff that you want to be able to hear. So he had to remain skeptical and have a more safe approach when coming. He's not going to say it's Bigfoot, obviously, and stuff. But it is interesting. This one particular thing, you know, I just don't know. I don't know what it is and stuff. So we're gonna play this. You know, we're gonna compare this to different to owl sounds. We're gonna compare this to different things that you maybe have heard, and you know, we need your help. We need your help to see what this is. So basically, we have here is this big call that the caller kid made, and then right here is two neat things that we have found. And these are two whoops right here. I believe this is a coyote. I'm pretty sure. I'm about 99%, well, 90% sure, because it sounds like a coyote, and on here it actually does look like a coyote on the spectrogram. And this call right here was one that I was always skeptical of. This is new, and we did not hear. It was buried underneath everything. So basically, we did some enhancement and stuff, and sound removal, some vocal amplification, isolating the vocals and stuff, and that helped bring about stuff. So another new thing is this right here, this line right here, and this is what Steve actually found and pointed out to me. And this was not something I had previously heard and it basically, it kind of sounds like a mechanical type of a tone, and you can see it actually goes for a while, and James, the color kid, actually hears it and stuff. He actually says, "Did you hear that?" or something like that. And no one else hears it because of there's a lot going on. They're not really focused. The other members, former members, are not really focused on hearing and trying to listen and stuff. So they're not hearing everything that's going on. But they do hear the major stuff. So, and then we have what's this one? I believe that is another. Yes, sorry. There's another whoop in here, and it's kind of hard to hear, but this is something that's there, and I believe this is something that Steve could see and stuff, but it just was not able to really pick up and work with and stuff. And plus, there's people and stuff talking on there, so. But I did my own little thing, and there is definitely something there. And then we have right here, after our, we have a growl or a type of huff that is hard to hear. If you guys have headphones and some good bass sounding quality ones, you will be able to hear this. Now you guys can should be able to hear that if you guys have headphones. It's hard, but it's basically a bassy sound. It sounds like a huff or a growl, and that is something that was not previously heard or found. That was something that was buried underneath. And I basically, after Steve found some stuff on here, I went through and looked at everything. And when I first did the initial analysis, I never went on and did a spectrogram. I boosted everything that I could hear, the major sounds. And now later on, I did show this with the spectrogram, but again, the background noises and stuff was something that we on the show didn't hear, nor did. Oh, didn't mean to push that. Almost pushed that. I'm going to and then we have the second howl that the former member did, and then we get our major response, which is these right here. It's a boop 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 and then a howl. Woo. It actually changes tones, and if you listen very carefully, you can hear it. There's a little person talking stuff, but you can get over the fact about that because this is something, So basically, there's this boop boop, and there's a woo, different tone chains, ooh. So it goes. This tone is in this range about 450. This one jumps up a little higher, the tone change, and then it drops down a little bit, and then this is a response of people hearing it. And so we will play all of this for you guys. Let me get my phone set up so I can see you guys' comments if there's any. Yeah, check this message. So these should be boosted enough. I've already did all that, so you should be able to hear it. It's as good as it's going to get on my end. If it doesn't sound that good through StreamYard and through YouTube and stuff, it's obviously going through, some filters. And so I apologize, but this is some stuff that we're going to re-put onto to YouTube in separate videos. Alright, so let's play it.
Oh! Did you guys hear that? There was a response to that way. It sounded like, I don't know what it was though.
Alright, so that's the full clip for you guys. And then we're gonna look through and play each individual one. Cause it goes pretty fast, and you guys might not have heard them all and known which ones we're playing. So, right here we're gonna play, and I'm going to just didn't do what I wanted it to do. That's okay. So right here is what we're going to listen to. It's going to be two whoops. And it'll be whoop whoop. And you'll hear that first before this coyote. So I'm going to keep playing it over and over. So this is James, the caller kid's call. His signature call. You have those two whoops, and you have this coyote that sounds off. And then right here, I have this enhanced right here. That's why this looks like this. But you hear this. I'm not sure what that is. If there's some mechanical thing going on. It sounds like one of the voices cuts out real quick, and then but the other audio seems to be fine. So yeah, there's these two whoops that were in the background that I never knew about, that just did this enhancement today, and you know, they sound pretty interesting, and I don't think anyone else heard them in real time. None of them heard these whoops. They heard this coyote, but they didn't hear these whoops. And even on the spectrogram, without the enhancement stuff, you don't really see them. They're not as loud as the background noise and stuff, and the people talking, which is this right here. Alright, so let me know if you guys can hear that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Sounds strange for sure, yeah. But this is a coyote right here. I have a whole clip of coyote sounds, and these interesting squiggly lines, they're pretty unique to coyote yipping and stuff. But these whoops are obviously something different. They sound different. They're at a different range. Pretty interesting. So we'll move on. And we have this interesting tone, which James, the caller kid, hears. He acknowledges, but no one else hears it. Now, when I first went over the clip, I thought he is acknowledging the coyote call. And so Steve from Curious Cryptids actually pointed out that there's this mechanical sound right here, and we're going to play that. So listen for it. And it's kind of hard. It's harder to hear. Now, in the range, is much higher than the whoops and a little higher than the coyote call, but it's one solid uh, tone, one solid yeah, tone. There's no fluctuation like the coyote call. The coyote call is all over the place. So we'll listen to this right now.
Oh. 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 Oh.
So that little tone or whatever, uh, whatever it is, I have no idea. I have no idea. Steve thought it was, you know, maybe it could be a car and stuff, but the only problem is where everyone's in the middle of in those woods, this particular wooded area and stuff. There's no cars close by. There's nothing beeping. There's nothing and stuff. And James, the Crawley Kid, hears it, or at least he responds to it. And no one else hears it, of course, because in the excitement and other things going on, they're not being quiet enough to be able to hear this stuff. And so this is a separate group. This is a group behind us, and the group that I was leading, I don't know how far up we are, but I'm pretty sure we never heard this, or we never heard this because they kept saying when they met up with us at different times that they kept getting growled at and stuff. And this was all caught on a GoPro Hero 8 that was in this particular section that James was holding and filming with. So we're going to move on. I'm going to play this. I think this is this whoop. And this one's hard to hear, but it is there. It's going to start to get a little bit harder to hear some of the stuff. So you can hear that. Ooh. I can't make the sounds. You know, I want to, but this little like boop boop. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And this is in the background. People are talking throughout the whole thing.
Did you guys hear that? There was
And in the real whole unfiltered thing, you can't even hear it. Pretty interesting. So yeah, we got multiple whoops, or whatever that may be. You know, it sounds like a whoop, and there's nothing else going. Like, you know, usually when birds sound off, they keep sounding off in a pattern. Honestly, especially when they're calling out, they keep going out and calling out. I have hours and hours and hours. And I actually have a clip of a very interesting bird that would fool a lot of people that is Sasquatched, that I am working on. But it is definitely a bird. Someone loud pulling around through here. It's a bird and stuff. But the first few calls it makes, boy, do they sound squatchy. But it's just not. Okay. What is here? Cough, okay. Alright, so right here. Oh yeah, this is another little whoop right in here, and it's this one is hard to hear, but it's because everyone's talking over it. But if you listen right about here, there's gonna be a whoop type tone like we've heard in the background. So you can hear it there, this tone, and it's not the people talking. You ever hear a person make that noise before they start talking? Especially since this would be a person away from the camera. It's not the person holding the camera, so it's not even the person next to the camera, closest to the camera that would make a sound if it was someone talking. So that one is harder to hear, but maybe you guys heard it, maybe you guys didn't. Just something that I found interesting. And again, shout out to Steve because without him going through and looking at it, I would not have found these newer things today. I only disagreed on him with really one thing, and it was this. And we'll play it and stuff. I'll go over it for a little bit, but it was definitely good criticism, and I understand why. And some definitely good things that hopefully next time we just having this perfect audio, no interruption with people and stuff is the biggest things, because you could have the best thing in the world, but if someone's talking over it, then it's not going to be the best. And honestly, working with it and stuff is just harder. So alright, so let's play this. So this is just after the second call is made by a different person, and we have a boop 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 woo, and it changes tones, which is being talked over. So you hear this. You gotta try to listen for this. That boop 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 woo. Now I've listened to this. I have headphones and stuff. If you have headphones with a good I just totally lost the term, but it's basically bass and all the other filters and stuff. You can turn this up extra and hear stuff so much better than off your computer or off of a TV or off your phone. And these ones are not expensive. My kids destroyed my really good ones, so I bought these for like $10. $10 at a place called Five Below, and they work great. So don't need to spend a lot of money to have decent quality stuff. So this is the clip that we're gonna check out. That you know we're gonna take a look at some owl sounds and compare this clip. This boop 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 woo. And Steve's only thing was it basically if you take this and eliminate this because there's people talking over it, then you have this sound, right? And this could be an owl. If you disregard this and you just hear these sounds, then yeah, maybe I would assume an owl myself, maybe. Because in this next clip, we're gonna listen to some owls, and they do monkey talk, monkey chatter and stuff what people hear, and you're gonna hear some sounds where a lot of people have heard, and they've heard like orangutans going off, or not orangutans, but monkeys going off and stuff, and you'll hear this monkey sound. But the problem with, if you eliminate half the evidence, is you have half the evidence that you're looking at. You're not looking at the full thing. Even though this howl is in the background, even though it's being talked over, it's not the best quality. You have to include this, include it all as one piece, because if I cut half of it, this could be whatever. Now this is something else. Now, okay, so I show you a clip of that. Now I show you a clip of this. Those are two separate different things now. They don't, now there's two separate things. But it's all one thing. So you have to kind of treat it as such. So we're going to take a listen to this a couple more times after we take a listen to this last thing, which is going to be really hard to hear on your guys' end. Definitely. This is something that you're going to have special headphones or some good quality speakers or something along those lines to hear this particular bassy tonal huff growl thing. But maybe you guys can hear it better. I mean, I can hear it pretty good, but I got my headphones. So let me know in the comments if you guys can hear this one. Let me know if you guys can hear everything. James is about to say the holy S word. He gets shushed. They definitely heard that one. Can hear the huff. Awesome. And that is certainly not something you want to hear in the darkness when you're out bigfooting. That's not a good call to hear. And I remember them coming back to us and saying, there's a bear. We hear this, we're getting growled at, and I really wish that all heard it. I wish we all heard it, but I'm just glad that. Okay, I'm gonna try to change this and see if. What do I want to do? Bigfoot or. Alright, I switched stuff. Okay, so let me stop sharing. Then I gotta go probably switch back and then click the other tab. Awesome, you can hear the huff. Well, if you guys are able to hear that, then you probably heard the other stuff, which is awesome. So I'm glad that this is finally working. I am doing all of this off the computer. No issues this time. Streaming all good. No buffering on your guys' end. I'm assuming you guys are able to hear all this stuff. Great, because I've been waiting to do this for a long time, and but everything works out. Sometimes things work out the way they're supposed to. All right, so let's show this other stuff, and some of this stuff should be a lot easier to hear than that. some of it's harder, some of it should be about the same, I guess. If you guys were able to hear that, then and so that just shows you can have a whole clip. We've had this clip for a while now, like 2 years now. I already went through it, and I thought I did a good job enhancing it, but it's good to pass the work along to other people, and maybe you guys, maybe we don't agree on everything, but at least, you know, you might be able to look at something in a new light and find some new things you never found, and have a new outlook on what you need to do to try to get better audio and how to go through audio and stuff a little bit better. So that definitely opened my eyes to that fact, and that's what you should do as researchers and stuff. I have nothing to hide, If all my stuff's is pretty much on here. We got stuff in the hard drive bank that we're sitting on, and we're working on videos and stuff. But all the majors, pretty much major things we have out, audio, and it's all out there on the YouTube. If you guys can listen to, you guys can listen to it. You guys can like screen record it and listen and work on audio that way. I'll send you clips and stuff, and there's stuff on Facebook, so it's not like we try to hide our stuff or just stockpile it up for a bunch of years and wait for something grand to happen. Or I kind of I like to put stuff out maybe sometimes before getting it fully vetted by all the people who might be interested in it. But I like just to put stuff out there. Hey, there's a lot more of you guys out there than there is people I know to send it to. So you guys have potentially more experience with stuff. You can have recollection of those particular sounds of everything and stuff. So I like putting stuff out because I want your guys' opinion. Maybe you guys have good experience on some of this stuff. Alright, so we're going to share this. And this is Bigfoot or Coyote Calls. Awesome. I'm so glad this is working. So, Bigfoot or Coyote Calls? That is the question. And the reason for that is because this was on the same recorder right before Coyote Calls. I believe these sound off, and then a bunch of coyotes go off right after it. And I should have had the coyote clip with it. I wasn't really thinking about that. To show the coyotes, and we can show the other clip. The coyotes, are kind of like a heartbeat monitor. They go up and down, up and down, up and down, and they have up and down, and then we'll have up and down, different frequency ranges that are different coyotes. But this is one tonal tone. So we'll take a listen to this, and I want your guys' opinion on if you guys think this is a coyote or something else. I apologize for the extra noise and stuff along top of this. I might be able to work on that right now, but I'll take a listen to it for a couple of times, 2 more times, and then I'll try to do something real quick. This one right here could possibly be a different animal. It sounds like a different, deeper tone. Maybe it's a response call. Maybe it's the same animal. And that one does kind of sound canine-ish. Oh, what did I do? That's not what I wanted to do. I guess let's just do some focal reduction. Oh yeah, that's why I couldn't do that to this one. Yeah, this. I'm gonna mess with this real quick. This probably might not do a good job. Let's do that again. This is. Alright, let's play it again. It might cut out a little bit of some noise. Sounds like it was a little bit better. One more time. We'll stop sharing that tab. We'll get the next one ready. So yeah, you know, what is that one? I don't know. You know, it's so far in the background that it's just not close enough to get a definitive answer. But the tone sounds very interesting. But you know, it's inconclusive enough. That's why I'm presenting it to you guys. Maybe you guys have heard it. Maybe you guys have some audio clip that sounds exactly the same. Maybe you guys say, yeah, oh yeah, that's that one particular coyote call, a mating call or whatever. Which one next? Oh wait, I gotta. This is so funky. They changed a little bit on here. Seems like. Okay. All right. What do we got? I'll show you guys this. We'll save that one. Yeah. We'll show the swoop right here. No, we won't. I think that's the one that's bad. I tried enhancing stuff. It just it's not good. But this one, oh, I messed up. This one, this one will show. All right, get this one ready. I'm glad this is running smoothly. I've done this before in the past, and it just could not handle it. It crashed my computer actually. So. Movement. All right. So we're going to listen to this, and then we'll go over it. And yes, this is the one that I gotta enhance for you guys. But give me 1 second. My girl's here, so I'm gonna talk with her for a quick second. All right, we're back. Yeah, go ahead. Of course. All right, so we'll jump back into this. And let's see, scroll over for you guys a little bit. So we'll go from right here, from where I talk. I think it was just right about here. So we'll go over, we'll amplify it a little bit. We'll go 6.5 right here. The new peak amplitude, decibel. And that's up top was the amplification. So as you can see, it did it a little bit louder. We are going to take a listen to that. Be careful, it might blow your eardrums off. That should work. Alright, that's way too loud. I'm so sorry. Yes, sorry about that too. So go up here, we'll go to the focal reduction and all that. I'll do that a few times. I think that's what I did to do this. I don't know why this should have already been done. I might have scrapped it. Oh yeah, that's way too much. It doesn't matter. This is just a little movement stuff. It's not the major ones. Yeah, whatever. I don't know, whatever. I'm not. Well, that was whatever. Alright, we'll show this other one. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that blaring and loud for you guys on these other ones. That one should have already been done. All these other ones are done. So again, pretty much the same thing. It's gonna be some type of movement or whatever. It's just a little scraping noise right here. So yeah, there's that, and then basically this is movement and stuff. As this was part of the Allegan County Part 1 night investigation. So hopefully you guys heard that one. That one's harder to hear. And it's not, definitive of Sasquatch, but it does kind of correlate. Like, we were hearing stuff. We're not out there just like make believe, pretending like some of these people will do. Not to name names, but some of these channels have hefty subscribers, and all they do is go blabber on about natural tree fall and make up fantasies and whatever. Good story, I guess. At the very least, we always our goal is to always have something to back up what we're talking about. Even if it's some crappy audio, at least it's gonna be like, hey, this happened to us, and this is what we have. This is, as crappy as it is, we're gonna try to show you something, and it's not gonna be just a story from our mouth. Like, we want to be able to show something along with it. We don't want to be storytellers. We don't want to be like, oh, just believe us. We want to be like, yes, this happened to us, and here's the stuff we can show you guys. This right here. I don't even know what's going on in this one. I'm kind of afraid to play it. It should be alright.
We're getting everything on audio, so we've got your encounter basically on audio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Audio. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, this is the other time we got hissed at. This particular one we do not. Honestly, this particular one I was having a hard time enhancing and showing, but I've been working on this stuff recently and found some better ways to bring the stuff out.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So we'll go play that again, and it's a hiss. And I don't know if you can really even see it on the spectrogram. I also need a. You see how it's up here? It's at like 20,000 hertz. I need to cut it down in half to 10,000 because it's just a bunch of empty space up there. Because that's obviously the louder noises and stuff. You go in range and stuff, and this is the lower stuff you can't hear. 35 hertz or lower, 30 hertz and lower, you can't hear at all, and that's 100 hertz right there. So, and I can scale this up and down, of course. So let's listen to this hiss. I think it's right here somewhere.
Yeah. Audio.
Right here.
Audio. Audio. Audio.
The only problem is it's like it's hissing right here, and I start talking, and then in mid sentence, I respond like in mid sentence still, like holy crap. Because with everything's going on, we had just actually the person with me had turned around, seen this Sasquatch walk off the trail. We had all this commotion and stuff going on before this, and then we getting hissed at. This was the first night, and night 2 was even crazier. You guys can watch those full raw expedition videos that I put up and made, and you can hear this stuff. You can watch the camera. It's just pitch black because we're out there, and we're out there where we're off trail. We're in swampy creeks. We're chasing after these things. We actually did chase after these things 2 different times. Made fool of ourselves. I made a fool of myself. I feel like, by going after. This was after 168. This is after we did filming down there. This is after, I didn't go after the things that I filmed down there because I was intimidated. Came back to Michigan. I wanted to go after these things. I didn't, not pussyfooting around. I don't have to worry about snakes and alligators when I go after these things in swamps either. But so we go after these things, and they were good sports. I'm breaking limbs and foot stomping, and we're doing some more aggressive style tactics that normally we won't do and have not done really since, at least the limb breaking, and trying to be aggressive intimidation for a response like that. But in that particular time, I guess I was more wanted to go after them, I guess. Anyways, they were a good sport, some of this stuff. This is after we were trying to walk back to camp. This hiss and stuff, they hissed at us. We're gonna show some response after I speak some Native American, and they're like the previous clip. They're hitting the ground, or they're brushing the ground with their hands, I'm assuming, or their feet, brushing the ground, and just letting us know they're there, just so and stuff, or this hiss, or breath of air and stuff. So play that a couple more times for you guys.
Audio. 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 Holy shit. Audio. 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 Holy shit. Over here.
All right. Stop sharing. I'm gonna click the next clip over. That's not gonna play that. Where is? Walking one we did. Response to limb breaking. Yeah, this one, I guess. Yep. Alright, we got James Codley Kid. If you want to join, are you able to join? I throw you the link. After the audio, I gotta take, yeah, throw the link in the chat a little bit, but if you're able to, you want to come on, I'll I'll send you the link and stuff. But this is his other channel. James says also heard the weird mechanical sound I heard. I also hear the weird mechanical sound I heard in real time. That's weird though. Sounds like a drum or a ball being bounced. It sounds weird. It definitely is some weird sound. And I mean, James can tell you himself if, when he comes on here. Next time he comes on here, for sure. We're out in the middle of nowhere. There's no mechanical sound in that spot like that. There's no beeping. I mean, that was a tonal something. Okay. Yeah, cruise through this. I only got a couple more to go, and then I was gonna throw the link in the live chat for a couple, and then if I call it a show, Halloween show. Talking about a little bit of ghost stories and stuff. My girl's here now. I wish she'd come on camera, but she'd tell her ghost stories firsthand. But we've shown some stuff of hers on here. I don't know where I have that video stored at, but she has a picture we've shown on here of a handprint. Before I met her, she was pregnant. Had a handprint on her, like she woke up and just someone big old welt just right like that, and took a picture of it, of course, for documentation, because it freaked her out. And we've shown it on here, and that is very interesting evidence of some spooky stuff. Alright, so we'll play this clip. Shouldn't break your ears too much. Let me give it a little test, I guess. I guess that's the maximum accepted level that I think should be good for you guys. Alright, so basically this is going to be a response to some Native American, and this is during the phase where I'm making a fool of myself by breaking branches and stomping on the ground, brushing the ground with my feet. I call out to them in some Native, and we get this brushing of the ground response, is what I, in real time, thought is what it sounded like. And if you guys listen very carefully, it's what I believe we captured. I'll play the full clip, and then we'll play just the sound.
Oh, show. Jenna. Sabe.
I heard that.
So there's two things actually. There's this louder commotion and then a slighter commotion.
I heard that.
This pop noise right here. This is me. I hit the side of the recorder. I hit the microphone. Is what this pop noise is. So this is not part of this commotion noise, and we got actually lucky because that could have really just wiped out that noise and not caught it. But so that's what that kind of abrupt distortion is.
I heard that.
And then there's this slighter, harder to hear sound right here. And the talking, just again, it's hard when you're in these situations. You want to talk to the person you're with, your battle buddy, as I like to say. You want to talk to them. You're excited. Sometimes people are scared. It's an intense situation. So it happens. But the more quiet you are, you're going to catch more stuff without interference. And with the interference, it's just it makes really good evidence. Just it gets lower and lower and lower at the tier of what is there and what you can actually pull from it. So we'll take a listen to this real quick.
I heard that.
He says, I heard that, and another brush of the movement. It's real quiet.
I heard that. I heard that.
And that is a direct response to this Native American that I abruptly out of nowhere just spot out, and it scared the other guy a little bit. And it is this quick spewing of. I keep touching my makeup. It's kind of starting to irritate me a little bit. I'm getting kind of sweaty and wet a little bit. It's a direct response to the Native American that I just spoke to it. And my assumption, my theory on it is it's acknowledging us. It's acknowledging me calling out to it. So I don't know. See, this does not prove that it understands the Native American or anything like that. But from this whole interaction, if you watch the Allegan County Research Expedition Part 1 and Part 2. This is Part 1. All this interaction, we chase them twice, then we get to this spot, I'm breaking branches, we're stomping on the ground, we're moving the brush. I abruptly do this Native American, and we're hearing noises in between different stuff. And it was definitely acknowledgement. Then we walk away. The other person, former team member, turns around. He sees this black mass silhouette of a Sasquatch walk off the trail. We walk back. We talk about it. You can hear it. It's all on audio. I'm unfortunately, the camera is running. It's dark out. We have lights and stuff on. So the whole encounter happens on audio. You can hear him turn around and react to it, and we talk about it. Then we move on, and then we show the clips that we just showed. Of did you hear that and stuff? And then there was another clip that was too loud for you guys, but it was more movement. It was following us out, and that is more key things: is being followed out, being followed. Animals don't follow humans. Typically, most common animals in North America, it depends on your state, but honestly, North America, it's all general. Almost all big game North American animals are pretty much the same everywhere. Now there's a little bit more different varieties when you get in the south, and you get different, mule deer, and you get those you got antelope and those other type of deer, and different fauna out there. But alligators, and you get different kind of stuff down in Florida. But in generally in North America, we have raccoons, we have deer, we have possums, right? We have those general stuff. We have, when it comes to what will follow you in the woods, that's something big. It only comes down to a deer, black bear, and grizzly bears are not in the continental U.S. unless you're in Washington or maybe Oregon. And maybe they're not, and of course Alaska, of course, but the continental U.S., the only real thing that would really follow you actively, big would be a bear, maybe a wolf, maybe a coyote or deer. That's it. Raccoon's not going to follow you, and it's not going to sound like a big animal. It's going to sound a certain way. Deer, walking through the woods, running through the woods, skipping, jumping through the woods, sound a certain way. Deer typically don't follow humans. They do the exact opposite. They run. They are so entrained, and they have evolved to literally understand how humans sound when walking in the woods. They listen for the bipedal movement of humans. They recognize it as humans, and they get the heck out of there. So, one good key indicator that I like to experience and have to indicate that there's Sasquatch activity going on is to be followed around in the woods. To be followed. If you have an activity, go 200 yards away somewhere else. If you're gonna get followed and have activity continue to happen, you can automatically eliminate most animals, and you can eliminate that this is something highly unusual if it is an animal, normal animal. That's a good baseline to eliminate some stuff. You already know, okay, this is some weird stuff going on. Okay, then go somewhere else. If it continues to follow you and you have activity, you can go from there. So that's where basically this comes from. This is what we're getting at. I can't see your comments, so I'm sorry if you guys are commenting. I have no idea. I know it's kind of late on the East Coast. We're hanging in there. But that's okay. You guys on the West Coast, you guys have it easier when you guys are watching this show. And I only do it at this time because of the kids. It's a lot easier for me just to do this every single time at this particular time slot. It just works out for me, easiest and best. So that's what we're gonna do. And over the course of the panther, yeah, I guess panthers and stuff, but wasn't thinking about that. But panthers, if they are gonna follow you, you're not gonna hear them. They're very stealthy. And a cat, you're not gonna hear them follow you. They're not gonna actively let you know that they're gonna follow you and keep following you around like that. They pretty much want to stealth attack you, and if they are letting you know, it's pretty much aggressiveness. You're already gonna know it's a cat. It wants to get you out of the area and certain things like that. And typically typically a panther, mountain lions and cats won't go after two people at once. So, and I was armed with my rifle the entire time while we were having Sasquatch activity. You can watch the videos. I have the rifle with me the entire time that things are happening. So that did not play a role. I also did not brandish it and point it at any of them, and so. Alright, let's show this other one. Don't get me wrong, I think we've had a lot of... I feel like most of the Sasquatch encounters I've had, besides one, have been curious, not aggressive or nothing like that. I think they have been pretty intelligent, and they show understanding, they show patience, they show even playfulness at times. Being dumb and aggressive, being stupid and doing stuff like that, if you do that to the wrong one, it could be asking for trouble. And I got the sense of they were being a good sport about everything, And to be a good sport about it, to be able to play, you have to be very intelligent in the animal kingdom. And I think they're humans, more human than an animal mindset. So I think they understand us a lot more, and they um, are intrigued by that when you want to interact with them a little bit. Try not to be scared about them and all that. But don't get me wrong, there are definitely some that will kidnap you and eat you, I'm sure. I am positive because there's stories of it. I see data on it. I see reliable information about it. I've heard witness stories. I've heard, and I know firsthand by being yelled at by one that you make them mad, and it sounds like a angry human at you. And trust me, you don't want to mess with it. You don't want to piss these things off to the point where you don't know. It's not like us. We have laws and we have understandings of our society. Their society and stuff would be totally different. The rules and regulation and what offends them or what's tolerated, what's not tolerated, it's totally different than us. Understanding of concepts of property and things like this, they live totally different worlds, so it'd be very easy to offend one without knowing it. My example was I shot a possum at midnight at a place that probably no one has shot guns off in the middle of the night like that in years. But not 10 years, I would say, but I made this creature very mad. I disrupted whatever, and it's female. I've told this, long story short, it's female, bickered with it and stopped it from tearing my head off, as I would assume, or at least showing itself to me and scaring the body fluids out of me. All right, so anyways, we're gonna play this, and you can see these tones. I can't remember. Oh yeah, this is audio. This is the UP audio from camp. So you can see right here, there's some nice big old howl right here. I think there's a knock or something here, or no, there's it's nothing. It's someone is moving something or whatever, and then there's another howl right here.
Hear that? Yell. That way, I think. Another one.
Yep, you hear that?
Okay, so I was mistaken. That was a howl. I was thinking it was this other club. These are not. This all didn't happen exactly at the same time frame. This happened, and this happened right here, and then these two clips are separate, and I just added them together so you guys can hear everything. But if you notice, this tone right here sounds like, and looks like some of the tones that we captured in different spots too. It sounds like that one is it Coyote or Bigfoot example I showed. Was the straight tone. There's another one and stuff here, but it's in the background. It's hard to hear. This one is pretty loud. You can hear Robert Kreider talking and stuff. Talking to we got Jason Kenzie there. We got Todd Parsons from TAPS, which is Texas Bigfoot Research, a Texas research group called TAPS. I'm there. Yeah, some former members, or some people weren't there. Some people were. Because we had 2 camps and stuff. We had this is camp 2 in the middle of middle of the woods, and we had another camp at a cabin. So not everyone was roughing it out here, but it was interesting hearing this. I mean, it was just loud, and we were there for a whole week, and there's a lot of experiences. So we'll play this again for you guys.
Like this way, right?
Yeah. Oh.
We've got we're figuring it is if we do. I think we're inside, if not the occupation zone, around the cliff or whatever, for sure. We've got some really large tree structures going on, really impressive stuff. Yeah. Turn left again, turn left, more, right there.
You have some?
Hear that? Yell. That way, I think. Another one.
Yep. You hear that?
And of course, everyone's all talking. Oh my God, you hear that? Shh, shh, shh. You hear that one? Blah blah blah. And stepping over all the audio. And then it just happens. Everyone's excited, and I think that the more people you have around, just the more chances of someone's going to say something to step over the audio. But luckily, the stuff was able to get caught. Stuff was able to be seen. There's not too much interruption. Yeah, so you guys can easily see that. Robert Kreider also has this file, or this call right here. He has it on his channel that he caught. We also got some other stuff. We got some more audio and of some stuff, but it's really in the background. And it's kind of it really is like not really worth to show because it's what are we doing? I wonder if I could. It's just way in the background. So it's worse stuff than harder to hear stuff than all this. Let me do something real quick.
Oh.
That just helped a little bit.
Oh.
But yeah, you can hear it. I mean, it's loud. It's a constant tone. It's just under 800, I would say. I could look at it better, but say 800 hertz, just under. Probably about 780.
Oh.
What a great experience that was, being up there and stuff, and being with a good group of people. We had the She Squatchers up there. We had Robert Kreider. Adam Davies was up there with his fiance, Gwendolyn. We had Jason Kenzie, who filmed, and of course me and Jason had our Bigfoot encounter up there, which you guys can watch that on the channel. You can watch that in 4K, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and I really feel like the Sasquatches were around us, especially at the second camp, out the middle of nowhere, surrounding us. We had stuff happening in the daytime. And nighttime audio, everyone was hearing it. Plus, I know multiple recorders picked it up. Robert Carter picked up the one on his audio dish. We picked up other stuff on the one audio. I know another audio probably got picked up by this other researcher. So it was really, really awesome stuff. You know, the whole week of finding stuff and people hearing stuff and experiencing stuff and shooting and filming and having fun with everyone and the sheep squatchers out there and doing the work and getting out in the woods and stuff, and you know, pretty eager to learn and get out there and not afraid to get dirty and trying to understand and look at things too. So it was a really good collaboration and having researchers from across the U.S. come here. You know, they came here for our first in conference that we did, our first Michigan conference, and you know, came out to this expedition with us, and it was definitely a success. We definitely had a lot of fun. There was evidence, and yeah, just glad for all the experiences, and you know, yeah, glad. The only bad thing was the you know, backstabbing former members, but hey, you know, everything happens for a reason, and I had plenty of fun experience there, so I can't regret any of it. Maybe, you know. So so that's it. I'm not gonna show any more audio, I think. Oh, I got this. Yeah, we got two more. What's this other one? Alright, three more. So we'll do that then. Well, three more. They'll throw the link in the chat for a little bit. Maybe get some random people on. We got Christine Murphy says, are we just seeing them more nowadays? Or do you think there are more of them around compared to the past? It's honestly, it could be both answers. Or 100 years ago, Michigan, for example, and I think most of the U.S., Michigan is a great example. 100 years ago, we did not have as much forest as we do now. Over the last 100 years, Michigan has done a very amazing conservation effort and increased our forest size by a plethora. I mean, all of lower Michigan, especially lower Michigan, not up north. I'll give you a good example. So from here down is lower Michigan, from here up is northern Michigan, and then we have the UP. So pretty much from here down, it has all been cut. All the trees were cut down and replanted, and then cut down again. And then over the last 100 years, they have increased the forests by I can't remember how many times, but it's basically more forested now than it's pretty much ever been since the white man has started settling and cutting down trees here in Michigan, pretty much. So we're like over 50. It's like 53% forested, which is pretty good and stuff. But there's a lot of other states that are even more forested than that, and you would be actually kind of surprised at which states are what percentage they are forested. So I think that there is more population of Sasquatches now since the white people have came over, and with the last 100 years especially, because of modern man's, we do not go out in the woods, we do not do anything at nighttime, we do not stand guard, we don't hunt at night, we're not defending our property on guard at night, we're not traveling across, settling, all these type of things. We're pretty much at 10 o'clock, you shut your lights off, you're in bed kicking it, watching TV till you go to bed, right? So Sasquatch is able to go traverse and to thrive in this modern world because modern man is a city dweller, is an urbanized person. The country folk and stuff, they're in their backyards having bonfires and stuff, but they don't go in the woods. I mean, it does happen, of course, right? But they're not in the woods every single time, all night. They're not doing watches, standing guard, and stuff. So basically, modern humans are completely different than our ancestors, even 100 years ago, 200 years ago. I mean, 100 years ago, everyone worked. They had child factories and stuff. Kids worked. 5-year-olds worked. 5-year-olds worked longer shifts and harder than grown-ass adults now. So, completely different time. When you talk about more time you go back, we worked harder, we were stronger, knew the land better, we were more in tune with the land, we knew about things, I think so. This population of Sasquatches, and the natives talk about this, they had conflict with the earlier settlers, and now it seems like modern man has forgotten Bigfoot. There isn't as much conflict that we know about, that's reported. We don't hear about killing them all that much. So I think that they're able to thrive, have a big population boom, enough that their numbers are up there, that we're having all these new sightings, all these interaction sightings next to urbanized areas, outside of cities, in people's backyards, and right up against people's houses. If these creatures were so rare, and it was a needle in the haystack, I wouldn't be able to show you all the evidence we have. You wouldn't be able to watch all the videos with evidence on there. We shouldn't consistently be able to get it if it's a needle in the haystack. But it seems to be, in my opinion and experience in Michigan at least, that the population is pretty hefty to where, you can pick a place in the map and you might get lucky. And if you go there enough, you most likely will get lucky at some point. Because the population is enough, and they move through areas, and they will eventually go to one of those areas. So, alright, Christine Murphy, says I'm just north of Clare, Michigan, not too far from Cadillac. Then Manistee had snow tracks 5 foot plus apart in a straight line in my yard, March, winter 2021. Awesome. Yeah, you're in a prime hotspot. If you ever get tracks like that, get pictures and video, and please send them my way, or send them to someone. Put them on the internet. I'm gonna put some emails up for you guys. Here's my personal email that I use very regularly. You guys can have. Got that Dodge 440 big black motor that I'd like, and all the Mopars. Gotta have Mopar. And so that's what my email is. Here's my other email. Of course, some more the Lost Cryptids email. All the words are capitalized. You have to make sure of that. So yeah, next time you get tracks like that, take a bunch of pictures of each individual track, of the track line, of what the area looks like. Look into track details, and take a tape measure out there, whip a dollar bill out there, get a reference of what it looks like and stuff. That would very much help the community, and you can post it on YouTube yourself. Yeah, you had a house banging on the house and stuff like that. Yeah, you're in a pretty prime spot. And there's a lot of places up north. You're talking about Manistee. It's another hot spot with a lot of activity, a lot of missing people. once you go like pretty much, like the rifle line is what we call it. If you hunt above the rifle line, you can use a rifle. Below is a shotgun. Above the rifle line is a lot more. It's more wooded areas, a lot more huge plots of wooded areas for them to be. So, I believe that they're definitely going to be hanging out a lot more in any particular area. The ones here in lower Michigan and stuff, there's not as much wilderness chunks. We don't have vast chunks of wilderness here in lower Michigan. We have, you know, uh, country blocks, and in the middle are woods and other country blocks, and you can hop, skip, and jump and travel across the state and up north and down to Ohio and Indiana. Yeah, of course, no problem. But if they stay in any one particular spot in lower Michigan, um, my assumption, at least some of these spots, they might run up eat up the food chain pretty fast. So I believe that they migrate a lot, but they will circle back and they will hit up a particular area. In the one spot when I was researching after my first encounter, it seemed like every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, they might not be in that exact spot you're at, but they're within a 4 mile radius to where if you start making call blasts, they might be able to hear you. And it seemed like every 2 weeks it was pretty much on the dot. So that's what I work with. That's what I go with. Um, so they definitely are traveling around. They're all through the thumb. They have a lot of sightings through the thumb historically. A lot of historic sites. I mean, Sasquatch seems to go back to spots where they've been seen, and seem to, for some reason, go back to certain areas of sightings, of repeating sightings. For what purpose and what we don't know, but it seems to be a common thread. Maybe it's old cultural things that ancient graveyards, ancient lands that they used to have some culture or reasoning for it, stuff like that. Alright, I'm going to put the link in the live show for anyone to come on. I just ask you guys to be polite, respectful, and try not to swear as much as you can. Yeah, we'll go for a little bit longer, then we'll probably cut it off. Yeah, prime spot where you guys are. You did take a picture, huh? Well, if you got a video and stuff, send it my way. Send it to the. If it's most likely too long to send it through the email. So what you can do is it just depends on how big the file is. But if you shut it off like your phone at a high quality, you can upload it to Facebook. You can upload it to your YouTube channel and send me a link to through. You can set if you don't want it to be public and stuff. You can load it up on YouTube, send me the link, and have it as private with a link available. Or because if you send it through the email and file's too big, it won't send. And if you go through like Facebook Messenger, the file could be too big. And what I do is I upload it to like my Google Drive, and then I'll send that link, the link to share that file from the Google Drive, and I'll drop that into people's inboxes. And then they can look at the video, and they can also download the video from the Google Drive. And so that's actually how I share stuff that is too big. You upload it to Google Drive, and then you click on the menu, and you share that through it'll be your email contacts that will pop up. So email me stuff. We can maybe send if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But send the evidence and let it be seen. Stuff. I'm really interested. I know some people are interested in snow tracks, especially. Well, yeah, that's definitely true. There's all reports all over Michigan. The earliest known report that I know of, that I have to give credit to Val Zavala for his work in the data mining of this, is from, I believe it is 1642 from Michigan. There was a French military letter sent back over that described a tribe of Bigfoot moving across the land of Michigan and to Old Fort Detroit, and then across Lake St. Clair over to Harson's Island, where the Sasquatches remain hidden from the townsfolk. Long story short, there's actually the long version is very interesting. And basically, the tribe moves down from basically Saginaw all the way down the river system, disappears, and then pops up right in Detroit and stuff, or pops up somewhere else that is a very good distance away, and somehow they just popped up. And some theories are, maybe they went underground and stuff like that. And Michigan does actually support and has karst system topography, karst cave system, water cave system. Basically, it's water that is in the earth. Primary water. You have basically it's natural springs, water sources that go through the earth, deep earth, can create huge expanses of cave systems and stuff like that. One theory is, Sasquatches are going underground. They're accessing these different points into huge underground cavern systems and just inner earth that we do not have explored and are popping up in different places. That's why they're able to hide. That's where the video is short. Okay, we'll send it to one of these emails if it's short enough. I should be able to get it. I'll look at it, and I would send it to some people that I know to get their opinion on that, and probably get back with you on it. Results, and if you're comfortable, we'd probably show it on the show, but yeah. All right. So, yeah. So, if you're, I don't know, I don't believe I've seen you in the chat before, but if you're new here, we're a Michigan-based research organization, if you haven't noticed that already, figured that out. But I would invite you to, we have a Facebook group, Facebook page, but there's another Facebook group. It's called the Gumshoe Guys Corner, Michigan Bigfoot and Sightings Reports. Michigan Bigfoot Reports and Sightings. It's a Michigan-based group, and it has a lot of good information and a lot of great stuff about our state that you only find there. And that is our good friend Val Zavala, who does a lot of great work, doing this for 10 years now, and has analyzed more reports than I think probably anyone else has, and professionally too. And has put together a database that shows Michigan has over, last time I checked, last time he put out, it was over 2023 Bigfoot reports. documented here in the state of Michigan, which if you look at any other database is well above, well above what any other people have listed or number wise. Even I think the BFRO's secret Bigfoot list, I believe there's even more stuff on there than that, and it probably includes all of their stuff too. So, and his data shows that, for a creature that just wants to be hidden and kept away, they really do like messing with people. They really do like being seen and having attention and stuff, because they mess with people. They watch people through windows. They slap houses. They aggressively harass people. They pee on things. They show themselves to people. They actively scare the crap out of you, push you out of the area. They kidnap, destroy, or kill property, or kill livestock, pets, people. There is reports, newspaper reports from the 1900s to the early 1900s, 1950s, 1960s. It's a great time period, and earlier, but a great time period of farmers being attacked, farmers being found dead, farmers found dead, missing head, gun bent in half, stuff like that. Missing farmer is found, or farmers get abducted by wild man. Wild man comes, tries to harasses farmers. There's a lot of if you look up in the early 1900s and 1800s, if you look up wild man stories, wild man encounters, there's a lot of stories of wild man encounters in newspapers with dates. Sometimes there's affidavits, sometimes there's police involvement. There's whole towns that go after these things. So it's not just one particular newspaper journalist who's just making up a story to get a newspaper. You can contact me right here, the Lost Cryptids Conservatory at Gmail. We have a Facebook page and group called the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. It's all the same name. You can find us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. You can message the page directly. We have a Facebook group. You see me posting on there all the time. Contact me on there. Contact me through the email. Here's the other email again. More personal work email. It's all the same thing. It's all connected, really. So, but this one I have. The other ones I've had notifications kind of not notify me, and this one never had that issue. So I always throw this one up too. Contact me. Let me know your stories, evidence, and stuff. I'm really interested. If you guys have stuff to show, you guys can always remain anonymous. We can talk a little bit. Maybe come on here and talk about some stories, encounters. You guys can email me about that. If you guys are interested and want to hear some audio, or if you guys maybe want the file, or maybe want a copy of it so you can analyze it, but you don't want to copy it off YouTube, I'll send you some stuff. Yeah, I mean, why not? It's all on YouTube. We all put it out. I mean, there's no reason for me to hide stuff. I know there's other groups who, they claim to have a lot of stuff, but yet we're still waiting on it to come out. And pictures and some videos and little audio here and there, can tide us over for a little bit. But when you supposedly have all this stuff and you're just waiting on this, I mean, 10 years is 10 years are gonna go by before something happens, before you show anything, or 20 years is gonna go by. I mean, so Um, don't want to it's just I don't want to wait 50 more years, as they say, for Sasquatch, for good evidence, for the next Patterson film, for stuff to be seen and all that. I'm more like, let's try to do it now. Let's try to get the best stuff we can now. Let's show it. Let's put it out there so people can see it, so we can get opinions on it, so we get, more people, make it go viral, so people have to watch it. So the people at the top have to watch it, because everyone's talking about it, That's something that we can do to force it on everyone is, have something so spectacular that it goes viral because it is spectacular. There's no need to draw circles around anything. There's no need to explain anything in a documentary because you just show the clip and it's reality, and it's amazingly awesome. That's what we need to just get everyone awoke to this idea and get some backing and all that. And maybe get some, actual like scientists to try to like work with us to get out into these areas, maybe get some funding by some of those people and stuff, or work with those people. So, and then they can spend, millions of dollars on Bigfoot research to get jack shit. Because what's going to happen when it's proven and the scientists are going to go out. I don't think they're going to still scoff at us. They're just going to go do it themselves. And I don't think that it's going to be as easy as they think. If it was, they would have already came out with that. Because someone's doing it. Some legit real scientists are in their spare time investigating this and probably going out and doing the same things we are. There has to be someone. There has to be a handful of them that are definitely doing it. And it would be interesting to see what kind of results and evidence they got. But of course they would never probably post those publicly unless they get some damn good proof. So, but I got a feeling there's definitely people interested and definitely doing work out there, but they're not showing it because they'll get scrutinized, disrespected, hounded, and pretty much ran off from everything that they try to do, and no one will take them seriously until Sasquatch is actually proven to be real, and then some apologies are to be made. But yeah, maybe in some extreme circumstances. Yes, this one, yes. Or it's a bear. That's a key word in reports and stuff. Bear. There's a lot of old reports and stuff where, the keyword "it was a bear" comes up. In some car crashes and some of the stuff, documentation from government agencies. And in the Gumshoe Guys Corner group, it's pointed out, and it really makes you wonder, makes you think. Our government is not, I hope they're not babbling buffoons and inconfident morons, but sometimes they seem to be like that. But I think that they are sophisticated enough and organized enough to have researched the Bigfoot, to know what's going on, to want to probably handle a situation, because that's what they do. But the big key question is, why is it a secret? Why do they keep it a secret? What's really on the agenda? What is it they don't want us to know? Why is it such a secret? If it's just a dumb, stupid ape out there, then what's the big deal? Talk about industry and money and blah 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 and the tree industry, and it's like, okay, Not really. I mean, all the major corporations of the industry are going to go bankrupt and be completely done. But in reality, here's a statistical fact for you. Uh, okay, it takes, we cut down 1 acre of trees and can produce so much toilet paper with it, right? And wood products and whatever. We can plant 1 acre of 1 acre of hemp, 1 acre hemp, and can produce 4 times the amount of volume that a full-grown tree does. Okay, and how long does it take for full-grown acres of trees to grow? For that one amount, that a hemp crop can do 4 times the amount in one grow, and can do multiple times a go every year, twice a year, every single year. So if you have 8 times the amount of wood products produced a year in 1 acre plot every single year for 20 years, that's how many times more effective and efficient can we produce stuff from 1 acre of hemp compared to 1 acre of trees? So I'm sorry to say, but if that whole industry falls, let it fall. We should be able to replace it, and we should replace it with more modern technology that's going to be more efficient, more renewable. You can make way more products out of it. You can make hemp concrete and all these other crazy, amazing stuff. Hemp plastics. A bunch of different stuff. So, it's not that, oh my god, we can't let that happen. It's just, the money, power hungry people don't want it to happen. We don't want to get up to this new technology and stuff. You know how much stuff we could do with plastics and hemp stuff? It would guess how much the cost of wood products would go down. The cost of making your house would go down. And the rich people who get money off of that and get money, they don't like that. They don't want it to go cheaper. They want it to go more expensive. More money for them, not less money. So I think that's a farce. I think that's just a BS and not the real reason why Sasquatch is not being told by us, by the government. Because that industry could crash and we could totally build a whole new industry very quickly. The American way, like we used to do, And would be fine. So. Yeah, I mean, I would say that it would be pretty hard to prove this. It's just a story, right? But you killed one of our assets. I don't think the government would say that, or if a guy, yeah, they got some crazy stuff that the government they're like 50 years advanced. I mean, they got some crazy stuff. I mean, they got so much crazy stuff that I don't see the need to have and this would be what you have, soldiers, right? This asset would be a programmable soldier, right, that they can deploy and stuff. Well, they have like lasers, and they have a bunch more stuff that they don't need a Bigfoot to play soldier for them. I mean, I just don't see the reasoning for that. To have some super soldier Bigfoot thing, Dogman thing, when like you can watch videos of the internet now of the 90s. This is videos from like the 90s, particle weapons. They shoot it. They watch the video. They shoot the gun. Nothing comes out, and it boosh, explosion. Okay. You can watch videos of Lockheed Martin, little freaking UFO thing, because it's unidentified flying object inside of a hangar with like rocket boosters all around it, and it's going psh, 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 shooting down, and it shoots over, and it's moving. You watch it on video. It's not fake. That was 20 years ago. 25 years ago. You don't think they got anything better? So what would they need some flesh and blood giant dogman thing when they can, like, they got laser beam weapons and stuff, you know, or advanced stuff. They got a bunch of stuff, you know. Here's a good example, a rough example. They probably have big ass drones flying in the sky, big old 50 cal setup with computers that can hit you from like 5 miles away each and every time, whenever they want. That's more practical and achievable than a programmable grown in the lab dogman. And that flying drone with the big ass 50 cal, or, you know, bigger caliber weapon is more efficient and can do more stuff and damage and leaves less evidence. So, I mean, that's just like just one little thing. They have a bunch of little things. I mean, come on now. Don't be ridiculous. They have a lot of things, but I don't think that is one of them. That's my opinion on that. You know, I've heard stories about these militaries hunting Sasquatches and going after them, and when they describe, yeah, I can tell it's a story because when the guy's describing the weapons, and he's talking about the military's using it's a 308 Magnum rifle. It's like, well, they don't really make 308 Magnum rifles. They don't use a 308 in the military as a rifle round. They use 7.62 by 55 millimeter NATO rounds, which are bigger than the 308 by a little bit. Military round, civilian round. You know, things like that. Certain details like that. It's like, well, that, you know, if the real guy was actually telling you that, and he was the special forces guy, why was he making up some bullet caliber, grain size, and stuff that's not real? That the military doesn't use. That doesn't even exist. That doesn't even make sense. You know. So it's things like that I look for, that I just like, you know, that's made up story. Oh, that's, you know, sounds good, but it's made up, you know. If I hear stuff from certain people and they say, you know, this is, you know, I heard this from, and they think it's reliable, then I will pay more attention to it. But if I hear some random story from a YouTuber and all they do on their YouTube channel is tell stories, especially from emails and stuff, any person can write them an email, and, you know, that's why we don't tell stories from emails on here, because I'm sure you guys have a lot of great stories. If you want to tell your story, you come on here and you tell them. I don't want to read your email on here. Anyone can write an email to me and tell me whatever they want. They seen a purple dragon out in the woods. Why don't you, okay, well, you come on here. You don't have to show your face, but it'd be way better if you did. We want to see you. We want to see how you act. We want to see if you're lying or not. See how you act. You know, see what you do when you tell the story. Tell by the sound of your voice if you're telling BS or if it's something true, something that you believe, something that actually happened to you. So. But this channel is not about encounter stories either. That's why I kind of stopped having guests on, because we're not about encounter stories and about that. I mean, definitely like that and accept that, and it's fun, but, you know, we're more about the research and getting evidence and doing the work. Everything else is fun. Everything else is secondary. Everything else is having the show. It's fun and stuff, and, you know, having a show and blah blah blah. But it's had to help show the evidence and explain the evidence firsthand to you guys in a way that I can't do in a video. You know, I can't. You know, we do like 3-hour shows, live shows, right? Like, I can't put all that information in a video for you guys. some of these times. I can go into depth and explain things a little bit more on these live shows. So we try to go out there and get the work and get the evidence done. That's what out. Nothing else matters. The Bigfooting and talking on the show, and we're doing a conference, but that doesn't really matter because you're not in the woods doing the work. You can say, oh, you're networking and you're blah blah blah. Just that you're not in the woods, you're not doing the work. Okay, everything else is secondary. If you're not in the woods doing the work, you should be learning skills and skill sets you need to be able to do the work, to analyze the work, to be able to efficiently know what you're doing. Don't be some city slicker out there just in the woods and think everything's a Bigfoot because you have no idea what you're experiencing. How do you gain experience from that? By going out there and experiencing stuff. Practice. That's where I'm at. I'm at the point where it's like, put up or shut up with your stuff. I get that not everyone has stuff to show, not everyone can, but like some of the stuff, it's like if you're having this much stuff happen to you, where's your camera at? Where you don't got nothing to show? Then it's like, come on, man, that's a little fishy to me. I understand. I've been in situations, you can't get that camera up enough. The audio doesn't catch. The camera wasn't on. A bunch of situations which prevents us and stopped us from getting more evidence to show you guys. It happens, but if you're getting all those chances to be able to get the evidence, you should have some type of evidence to show, if it's good or bad, crappy quality or not. I want to see whatever you got. I want to see, what is it? Just today, I just emailed another Michigan researcher, James Lady. He caught something recently, some vocals and stuff, and it sounds like some stuff that we got in the clip. And I sent him a clip, and gonna see what he thinks, and maybe brainstorm and pick apart some things. I actually got some more audio I kind of want to send to him and see what his opinion is on it. He might be able to work on it and do things with it and find different things, or at least show things in a different light. And that's what sharing the evidence with other researchers can do. You shouldn't be all stingy about it. Even if they have different opinions, you can still disagree and still come out from a good experience and learn from things and apply it to your work in a beneficial way. It's not negative. He's like Steve. Steve looked at some of the audio, and he didn't sugarcoat anything, and I didn't expect him to. And which was what I expected and want and stuff. When I want to show people, I don't want to be like, it's like, when I ask for an opinion, I want the honest truth. It's not to like butter me up, right? Doesn't mean I agree with everything, but I definitely am taking everything to heart and trying to learn from it, and that's what I think people need to do, and not be so stingy about everything. So yeah, I want to see stuff. Show me stuff. Send it to me. I'll send you guys whatever. Come to Michigan. We got hotspots all over the state. Come to Michigan. I'll take you out. I don't know what kind of percentage chance of getting an activity, but it's never zero. It's not 100% guaranteed, but it's never zero. So, and as right now we got archery season in full swing. We're gonna have gun season here at November 15th. So a 2 week window where everyone's in the woods shooting guns off. You're gonna be a major spike in activity of sightings. There always is, each and every October. October is a hot year in Michigan and around the country. for sightings. Everyone's out in the woods hunting, so there's more chances of interaction of them seeing each other. So this 2-week window of gun season, it's going to be very interesting time for Sasquatches because they're pushed into places where they have to be away from the hunters. They're going to be up against the roads. They're going to be up against the highways. They're going to be up against the houses. They're going to be up against places where hunters cannot legally shoot, cannot legally hunt at, can't even legally aim and shoot at. Like, you have to go away from these places and shoot away from the spots. So that's where the Sasquatches are going to be hanging at, in places like that. Private pieces of property that don't hunt. You know, older woman, old man's land where and no one has hunted there in 20 years. No one has hunted there in multiple years. You know, no one even goes out there. No one even goes out in those backwoods anymore, right? Those are the prime pieces of property that Sasquatch is going to gravitate towards during hunting season. So, but this is how you could really catch them is, you know, they get used to all these safe places and stuff, you know, over the years. But then, you know, people die, people sell houses, people move in, people have kids. So this spot that used to never have anyone hunting on for 20 years, all of a sudden there's a new family. Now there's a teenage kid who wants to hunt. Now who's going out there unexpectedly? That teenager hunting. And the Sasquatchers are not going to expect that. They're going to think, oh, this is just another year that this is going to be a great piece of property to hide out on. Bam. Great opportunity for unexpected interaction to happen. And more often than not, I think more often than not, I think the unexpected changes that the Sasquatchers are not used to, when they've adapted to a piece of property, a piece of land, when they've watched you for 10 years and they know your routine, and now all of a sudden you do something completely off the wall different, and that they totally weren't expecting and had no clue, that will catch them off guard. You can possibly get evidence, real good evidence, like face-to-face encounter type stuff, because they're not expecting you to do whatever, you know. It's the unexpected routine. Oh yeah, we never did go over the owl hooting and stuff. Well, so since no one's coming on, I guess we'll just do that right now. So we'll take a listen at these owl calls. And if you guys were here listening to the audio that we played, just jog your memory, kind of remember kind of the sounds you heard and compare it to the sounds we're about to hear. And some of these sounds on here, these are going to be barred owls. These are going to be barred owls. 2 barred owls hooting and hollering and making different calls. And then I might play this one. I have no idea what's on there, but they're going to start doing some monkey calls. And a lot of researchers get these calls confused with Sasquatch. They think that Sasquatches are making some of these calls. But it's just a barred owl who's really getting into it. So let's take a listen to this. I'm going to take a listen to this for you guys, and I'm going to be right back. This is that monkey sound. And they're pretty big too. They're not small. They definitely make some unique sounds. And that's why a lot of people get them confused. So yeah, that's a good example. We'll shut that down. That right there is the common call, the hoo 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 hoo. That's the normal recognizable call that they make. So great example that was. We'll play this other clip, I guess. Hear the many different sounds of the barred owl. Shout out to Chris Wall's YouTube channel for that great video of two barred owls. Very educational. And that is exactly why we're showing that clip, because of educational purposes. And comparing it. So, shout out to the Animal Sounds channel. A little story information on there. Please not buffering up too bad for you guys. But I think it's gonna probably play the same stuff. It doesn't sound like it's gonna be too much of the different sounds. I was expecting some crazier sounds, but don't know how. I guess I was muted the entire time, but on my end it was showing that it wasn't muted, and then it just changed. So, um, were you guys able? Well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Um, I was just saying that basically, you know, if you guys heard the audio clips of the owls, not, you know, they were making some peculiar noises, and if you hear that in the woods, now you know that those barred owls. A lot of researchers mistake them for monkey calls, Bigfoot calls, whatever. I was gonna say we're gonna shut the show down now. It's been 3 hours. I was gonna say shout out to Bob Daigle. He's a great researcher and is one of the godfather researchers of Michigan. Been doing this for a long time. Has a lot of experiences. I've actually been out in the field. We actually have a video with Bob out in the field, and don't find anything interesting. But Bob, you know, got some stories that we get told, and he, you know, at 70. I can't remember what it was. That's mid 70s, late 70s, mid 70s. He's able to get out and lead out in the woods, no problem. So, awesome work from him, and you can watch interviews and stuff. And he spoke at our Michigan Bigfoot conference. And I believe that video is on the YouTube. You can watch that, Bob Daigle. And we have the little outing that we did with him, which is really cool, because he definitely can outpace a lot of Bigfoot researchers, no problem. And I hope that when I get that age, I'll be able to do that too. And he has a lot of sightings, a lot of documentation of the state of Michigan, really, and goes to those areas firsthand and looks and has found whole body impression in winter that he believes that Sasquatch laid down and recently got up before he found it. He's done stuff with Igor Boltsev from Russia, who we've also had at our Michigan Bigfoot conference and spoke. Also had done interviews on here. I value him and his knowledge and stuff, because he's been doing this for so long, decades and decades and decades, and he has actually been and lived. He's lived in these sighting hotspots and where he's from, to research Bigfoot. I mean, this man has dedicated his life towards Sasquatch, and he gets some flack because of stuff that he's presenting nowadays and stuff, and a lot of people think need to be humble themselves to remember that the amount of research he has done is older than most people that they've been around. So, and the fact that he's done really good research and actually has stuff to show, you know. And I think that some of the recent stuff, some of the stuff is interesting, some of the stuff, you know, needs to be scrutinized a little bit better, but I definitely value him, and when we had him here, I definitely appreciate the honor of meeting him. And I wish he was able to go. He was supposed to go up in the UP. We were trying to get him up in the UP, but it'd been awesome to get him up in the UP and have experiences up there with him too. So Bob's done a little bit of stuff with him, and you know, and other stuff. So he's got some videos we've shown on here before. He's got some good stuff. He runs the what is it called? The Michigan Bigfoot Project.org or something like that. you go towards an older website, you'll see if it's up and running. I haven't visited it in a while, but back in the day, that was one of the spots that I would go to back. Oh, he's had a website up for a while now, and yeah, good guy. So a lot of good researchers out there. A lot of them don't get the credit. A lot of old school researchers that people don't know about, and people should, because they have good stuff and wealth of knowledge, stuff they can share and pass on, and that's what I like. I like about the elders and stuff is, they have stories and they have knowledge and stuff that you can learn, stuff that you can, if you humble yourself and take the time, you can definitely better yourself with, and that is definitely something that more people need to realize, is the wealth of knowledge and experience and the advice that they can come with speaking with older people. And so yeah, so alright, I think that's about it. I'm sure I could keep going on about a number of different topics, just jump on to the next and on to the next, but oh, it's getting late. Tomorrow's Sunday. So tomorrow's Sunday. So if you guys are still watching, shout out to Nikki and her show. The YouTube channel is called Harryman Hoodwinks and Hoaxes. Hoaxes and Hoodwinks. Sorry, Harryman Hoaxes and Hoodwinks. With Nikki. She's doing her Halloween Bigfoot special tomorrow, and you guys don't want to miss that. It'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern. I think that's what it is. Yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern time. She'll be doing the Halloween special. She should have some guests. It's gonna be a good show. Should be dressed up, and I think you guys, if you guys have never seen the show and never seen what her and some of the guests talk about, I think you guys will be delighted with some sane thoughts, and not the insanity of the Bigfoot world of fantasy and playing the role of the adventurer out there to capture Bigfoot or whatever. There's people out there that, and I've experienced this, it's just a fantasy. They're making up stories in their head and trying to make you believe the bullshit. And you hear a normal animal out there, and they're gonna try to make you believe and construe it to, oh, it's a Sasquatch. No, I know it's a Sasquatch, or it's a mimic and stuff. I think that Sasquatches can mimic things, because all they do out there is spend all day doing nothing. So why wouldn't they try to sound like other animals? It would only help them in hunting, to sound like another animal, to sneak up, to be able to make the calls and understand the different calls, the alarm calls of birds, to the, hey, there's food over here, to some birds. You might be able to catch birds by saying calls and stuff like that too. Trick other animals, make other animals feel calm by producing a bird call of like a bird does when it's in relaxation, not in an over heightened mode of alertness and stuff, on guard mode. So I think they would be utilized for hunting techniques and to communicate stealthy, obviously. I've experienced some of that. I've experienced a 500-pound owl mimic, and it sounded like a 500-pound owl. So alright, guys, so check out that channel. I'm gonna call it a night. I appreciate everyone. If you want to help research, you can try to find a way to donate to me. I'm not gonna make it easy for you. But honestly, the money's not, like I said, if you want some headphones to look at stuff, these are $10. Like, you don't need expensive equipment to go research. You don't need all this money to go do all this stuff, honestly. It helps, but when people say, oh, I have to have money, the research can't continue without it, it's just simply not true. Simply not true at all. Just walk out in the woods with a camera. No one has a film of Bigfoot, so it's that simple thing of going out there with the camera. Anyways, we'll see you guys on the next side. I appreciate everyone, and be on the lookout for more stuff from us, and hopefully one day we can show you some really amazing footage of some crazy things.